Hi, y'all. Welcome to Spirit Mail. I'm Cheryl, and this is Daily Mail episode 41. The first thing I want to say is thank you to everybody who got on our live stream the other night with Courtney and Warren. We had a really good time. I think there was some really good conversation, lots of great interaction from you guys, and I really do appreciate your enthusiasm about Roundtable. I'm looking forward to doing the next one again on Saturday morning. I think I want to address fear and disappointment. So if these are hard topics, right? But whenever we can kind of talk about it and even maybe sometimes a little bit laugh at ourselves in the process, I think healing happens. So I think it's also encouraging whenever we see like-minded people who are on a similar journey, who have actually gone through similar things. So if you would like to join me for Saturday morning's roundtable, I'll need you to email me at spiritmailtarot@gmail.com. Also, be willing to jump on Friday evening for about 10 or 15 minutes, like for a little meet and greet, so we can all kind of get comfortable with each other before Saturday morning. If I get a whole lot of people interested, what I'm going to do is, like I did last time, do a drawing, and whoever name gets picked, that's who's going to be coming on. Okay, so tonight I want to talk a little bit about fear and disappointment. And I am a published author. I was a contributor. This is me. I was a contributor to this book, Imprint, and it's Imprint, Stories of Everyday Women Leaving Their Mark, Their Unique Mark. You can find it on Amazon.com, and it is free if you have a Kindle membership, and 99 cents on the Kindle if you don't have the Kindle membership. The paperback, I think, is $15. This is the lady who collaborated the whole book. But anyway, I want to just share with you part of the story that I contributed. We've talked about briefly with this topic, actually, the day that I left. I was leaving for work one day and I heard God say the next song is going to be yours. God speaks to me a lot through songs. And maybe because I've taken a lot of secular songs and turned them into worship songs, how I worship God. And I want you to remember that when I say God and I say He, that's just what I'm comfortable with, and that's just what I am accustomed to doing, and I don't think God cares if we call him or her or it God, creator, universe, the field, the ancient one, the force. I don't think he cares. The Bible alone, I think, has 80 different names for God. So God doesn't have an ego. But the reason I wanted to take this book out and kind of read is because I wanted to have a conversation with you about God and your spiritual journey, or the Creator and your spiritual journey. There's a lot of people coming out of the church, and again, I am not knocking the church. I am grateful for the church. But there are a lot of people, especially in this channel, in this community, that are coming out of the church and struggling with the do's and the don'ts. And my number one advice for you is develop that personal relationship with your Creator, because your Creator will not lead you in the wrong direction. Spirit will not allow you to ride the ride at the amusement park that says you're too short to get on. Spirit is love. Spirit loves us, and I know that sometimes we can go down roads that other people might be scared of, and it might freak them out. But again, if you have that one-on-one relationship, or should I say, when we do have that one-on-one relationship with Spirit, then we can move through things easier. And so if you have never had that and you want to know, well, how do I have that? There's not a salvation prayer in my book for you to have that you can't just say words and it happens, but you can get quiet and you can invite God to speak to you in a way that you understand, because He, she, it, the Creator, will definitely meet you wherever you are. He met me with music. He'd spoken to me many times throughout my life, but this was so crucial for me. I was praying every night that I could just die in my sleep, because I was done. I had given up on life. And this song, whenever I walked to my car that day, he said this next song that comes on the radio, I am singing it to you. Whenever you start your car, the song playing, it's me singing to you. And it was Just the Way You Are by Billy Joel. And I'm going to read to you what I wrote in the book. It's toward the end, because I kind of tell the story about what led up to me being right here in the rest of the story. But I just want to read it to you so you can just truly understand how the Creator will use whatever He, she, or it has to use to be able to speak to us and to be able to get to our hearts. And I don't imagine I'm going to be able to do this without tears, and I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Y'all know me. Okay, so, it was morning, and I was on autopilot. I was getting dressed for my day and having mindless chit-chat with the family. I walked out to my car like every other day, and this time, when I put the key in the ignition, I heard, I'm singing this song to you. It was not an audible voice, yet I heard it deep down in my spirit. As I started the car, a familiar song was playing. Don't go changing to try to please me. You've never let me down before. Immediately, the tears welled up in my eyes as I drove off. Next, he said, don't imagine you're too familiar, and I don't see you anymore. The tears are flowing by this time because this is a familiar lesson. That you would think God would get tired of going down the same road with us, as if He knew exactly what I was thinking. He said, I wouldn't leave you in times of trouble. We never could have come this far. I took the good times, and I'm going to take the bad times. I'll take you just the way you are. Now I'm looking for a place to pull over, and how incredible is it that the one who created me, the one who's watched me grow, knowing every single bad decision that I ever made and every mistake that I ever made, He could still be so gentle and loving when I have this battle going on within myself. Do I run away from my family, or do I just give up and die? I heard God say, Cheryl, quit trying to turn yourself inside out in an effort to please me. I created you. You've never let me down. I'm not disappointed in you. Don't think your antics are so familiar or even frequent enough that it has caused me to stop seeing and caring about you. I'm not going anywhere just because you're having a hard time. If I did that kind of thing, we couldn't still be in this relationship. I hang around in the good times, and I'm going to hang around in the bad times too. However many there are, I'll take you just like you are. And it was so incredible to me because he had, or it or she had actually been there many times to show Himself to me throughout my life, while I was a single parent, and just so many times. It's not even funny how many times that God has had to show Himself to me because I got in a pickle or felt judged or felt less than or whatever. We all have those insecurities, right? So then I go on to say, can you imagine how I felt? Relief, love, and humility. It was as if a cloud of warmth and security had enveloped me. I could only sit and cry. How could God still love me? Now remember, I'm raised in a church, right? I'm raised in a church where there's this man sitting on a cloud, right, who actually hands out punishments. But by this time, I'm pretty much getting away from that idea. Anyway, it says, don't go trying some new fashion or change the color of your hair. You always have my unspoken passion, although I might not seem to care. And you know, sometimes that's what we think, that there's a God up there that's not caring about us. But whenever we come here, there's a scripture in the Bible that says, I knew you before you were formed in your mother's womb. Well, if that God knew us, then we knew him too. And if he had a relationship with us, then we had a relationship with him. You always have my unspoken passion, although I might not seem to care. My material business problems, and none of that stemmed from I'm writing right. None of it had anything to do with the color of my hair. But the big guy was sending me a message. You always have my unspoken passion, although I might not seem to care. He knows us so well. And sometimes we do think that he doesn't care. Sometimes we may think he's forgotten that we exist. However, he's always with us quietly, adoringly, and yes, passionately watching and loving us. And whenever I say he, right, I'm talking about this originating source of everything that's been created. And in addition to that, the team that he has given us, the angels, the guardian angels, the archangels, the guides, the spirit guides, the Holy Spirit, the ones that he sent here to walk this earth, like Jesus and Muhammad and Buddha, and you know that came and they all said, don't worship me. Even Jesus said, it's not me that's good, it's my Father in me, right? But they're here doing a work, and our angels and our guides are here doing a work in us. But let me finish reading because I get off on tangents and I apologize. So then I go on to say he knows us so well. Sometimes we don't think he cares. Sometimes we may think he's forgotten that we exist. However, he's always with us adoringly and yes, passionately watching and loving us. Then I'm suddenly seeing this vision of God, right? I see this vision of God looking down at me with so much love and compassion, pouring from his eyes and his heart. And again, he has no eyes and no heart, but I see it and I can hardly keep my composure. And then he says, I don't want clever conversations. I never want to work that hard. I just want somebody to talk with. I want you just the way you are. And I was like, wait, what? He wants to talk with me? Everything's becoming clear and he just wants to chat. No formality. Until now, I never sat still and truly listened. Before, he said he'll take me just the way I am. But now he's saying he wants me just the way I am. No frills, no fix-ups. Again, I'm suddenly seeing this vision of God and I'm standing at his feet, about reaching the height of his ankles, and he's having this conversation with me. I'm from Louisiana, so you know his hands are moving while he's speaking, right? Tears keep coming, and I'm just wondering, could this song possibly get any more intimate? Then he says, I need to know that you'll always be the same old someone that I knew. What will it take till you believe in me the way that I believe in you? And I think that's the crux of it. And it's just going to take too long if I go on and read all of it. But I think that's the crux of it, y'all. There's this, we get disappointed and we allow ourselves to get in fear. And I hear people in this community and even in the spiritual community, and it's not even unique to them, even in churches who talk about demons and all that stuff. And I think to myself, I have never had that. And I don't want that. I just, because I've never had it, I think it's because I truly trust that my Father's looking after me, and I believe that. So I don't allow fear to enter my heart in that arena. I have some people I know, a very close friend of mine that I know, she feels like her calling is to pray demons out of people through the church. And So demons, what do you call them? Unsavory entities or whatever, these entities that people talk about, it's not unique to the spiritual community. It's all over in the church too. So it's just, I really feel like it's the way that Proverbs 4:23 says, guard our hearts with all diligence, because out of it comes the issues of life. So if we allow fear in, it comes out. But I truly believe that if that's not what we want in our life, then we don't get it. Or if that's not what we fear, then we don't get it. That's my belief. I've never ever had that experience. And again, I don't want it. I'm not inviting it into my life. And I'm not saying that anybody who has it, that it's not real. I believe it's real. But I don't believe God's picking on us. I believe that his rules, his laws, not his rules, his laws are sufficient to keep us in whatever lane we decide to be in. And if we decide to trust him. You know, whenever I was talking to somebody yesterday or day before yesterday, and I said it's like I feel like I'm at an amusement park with my dad, and my dad's not going to let me get on a ride that's dangerous if I'm too short, you know, and the safety things wouldn't work. I said one time, there's a saying, God never gives you more than you can handle, and I always said I'm very grateful that God knew I was a wimp when it came to being a mom, because he gave me the best kids. They sat down and did their homework after school, and they made good grades at school. And I didn't have to sit at the table for 3 and 4 hours helping them with their homework. So God knew what my capabilities were before, you know, these kids came, or the kids knew before they picked me or whatever. But I guess what I'm trying to say is I hear a lot of stories and I get a lot of emails. And I just want you to know that God's got your back. And as long as your intention is to lead with love for yourself and for others, and you guard your heart and you only let love in, because see, where love exists, fear cannot enter. So if you allow love in, or if we allow love in and allow ourselves to be in communion with God, then no matter what, these cards, there's nothing evil about these cards. It's just a card. It's paper. It's a bunch of paper pressed together that makes it thicker than paper, or I don't know how they make that stuff. And it's got pretty pictures on it. How is this evil? It's not evil. What we do with things can cause it to be evil. But that in and of itself is definitely not evil. But just like somebody could take this and promote evil messages, somebody can stand behind a pulpit of a 501c3 religious organization and do the exact same thing. So whenever we are in communion with our Creator, whenever we understand that our Creator is still part of us, then I personally don't believe we have to experience the scary stuff if we don't want to. I believe that if we can trust our Creator and have that kind of faith to know that He wants to talk to us, y'all. He wants to talk to us. We don't have to do anything special to be able to do that. We can use tools, absolutely, but we don't need them. Anyway, this is going on quite long, and I didn't mean it to, and I didn't think reading this would take that long, so I didn't get to finish it, but God will speak to you however you allow Him to. And for me, I'm not going to tell you how to do it, because you really and truly, you do have to find your own way. But I can tell you, there's not a dadgum thing about me that makes me special. And that Creator loves you and is part of you the same way He's part of me, the same way He was part of Jesus, the same way He was part of Muhammad, the same way He was part of Mary, the same way He was part of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, the same way He was part of Buddha, the same way He was part of any spiritual master that ever walked the face of this earth. That same God lives inside of each and every one of us. And whenever we can trust that, then we can do the same things that those masters did. When we can truly trust that. Because it's our Father in us that gives us the power. Okay, guys. That's my daily mail. I don't know what I'm going to call it yet, but don't forget, if you're interested in participating Saturday morning, it'll probably be at 10 o'clock Central Standard Time. Please email me at spiritmailtarot@gmail.com and let me know. Also, don't forget, be willing to jump on Friday evening for just a little bit so we can meet each other. And if there's more than 3 or 4 people that respond, we'll do like last time, and we will have a drawing to see who participates. I love you guys so much. I cannot wait for this new year. Y'all are all so incredibly special to me. And I'll see you next time. And until then, have a super duper day. Bye.